We're live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all having a great week so far. Hope you're doing something to, get yourself right, work on your health, all the little things that play into your fitness journey, whatever. We got another podcast episode for y'all today. We have a interesting, unique guest coming onto the podcast today. Something that we haven't had yet. If you've listened to the podcast before, you've probably heard me talk about disc golf at some point on here. Y'all know it's a hobby of mine. I like to do it for fun. And y'all bring that up because today we have a professional disc golfer joining the podcast. We have Mr. Ezra Aderhold joining the podcast. He is a professional disc golf. He travels around the country and even the world. They travel to Europe on the disc golf pro tour playing disc golf. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Y'all are like, what is disc golf? Well, the easiest way to explain it is you play golf, but with a Frisbee. And people do this for a living now. I know that's pretty crazy, but it's a real thing, and it's getting bigger and more popular in the States nowadays. So today we have Ezra coming on to the podcast. So just to let you know a little bit about the podcast, it's called the Fitness Beginner Podcast, and the goal is just to help people get started on their fitness journey so they can learn kind of the basics and get some little motivation to keep them going on the fitness journey, because there's a lot of information out there. So we typically keep things pretty basic. And I wanted to have you on the podcast today because I think it's safe to say you're probably the most jacked guy on tour. So I was like, I got to have him on there. I remember a few years ago when you came onto the scene, I was immediately drawn to you because we had that connection to fitness. Like I could tell, obviously you worked out and then we both like disc golf. So I was like, yeah, I like this guy. And I want to say congratulations to you because you got your first pro tour win ever this year, so congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on too, dude. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun to talk some fitness stuff.
Awesome. So about what time did you get into fitness, and what time did you get into disc golf?
I would say I got into fitness well before disc golf. I think I kind of started getting an interest in fitness back when I was a child on the swim team, honestly. Like, I started doing competitive swimming when I was 9 years old, and I think I liked the changes that I saw in my body just from that. It's a pretty physical exercise, and so to see my pecs get a little bit bigger, my arms get a little bit better, and get like a little bit of a V-taper and stuff, I liked that. And so then I started looking into fitness stuff online probably when I was a teenager, and so I got interested in that at kind of a young age, honestly. Didn't find disc golf until I was, I think, 16. And then when I actually started going to like a legit gym and taking it like pretty seriously in that regard, I was probably like 19, 20 maybe. And that's when I started to really put the size on. Because I had some free weights and stuff at home as a kid, but it doesn't quite work out the same as an actual gym.
Yeah, I'm similar in the way I was always a very small kid, very skinny. I played a lot of sports, so never put on any weight. And as soon as, like you said, as soon as I found the gym and I put on some size, put on some strength, put some muscle, I was immediately hooked. Like I was addicted from day one, and I loved it. And I've been doing that since I was about 14. I'm 26 now, so about 12 years. And unfortunately, I didn't find disc golf until later in my life. I'm a COVID golfer. I started in like 2020, so
Sweet.
I've been playing a few years now. Oh yeah, I love it, but I'm on or off. So I do a lot of like fitness preps. So anytime I'm in a prep, disc golf I can't really play. I don't have time. But lately I've been playing a lot of disc golf lately. So that's what made me reach out to you to get you on the podcast.
Hell yeah, dope.
So you have a very busy schedule because you're traveling. Basically every week you're traveling around the world. So kind of give me the rundown of what your fitness routine looks like on when you're in season, and then I'm gonna ask you again when you're off season.
Yeah, so this season was actually a little bit different than most seasons. So previously, this is my sixth season on tour, and for the 5 years prior to this, I've always pretty much just walked out like 5 or 6 days a week, regardless of whether I had a tournament or not. So I'd walk out the day before and the day of tournament days, and just stay really strict with it. But this season, I did dial it back a little bit. After a few events, I started just walking out on weekdays where I didn't have a tournament like the following day. So it'd pretty much be maybe like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday at best. So I really wouldn't walk out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, almost ever. And I felt like it was a good change for my disc golf game. Maybe not quite as good for the games, but that's where the priorities come in, and I gotta lock in on what really matters for me. But yeah, I mean, I think keeping it super consistent is really important. You know, I feel like I get the most swell when I take like 2 weeks off and then I come back and try to work out. And so as
Mm-hmm.
far as, you know, making sure that I don't get sore, I feel like staying consistent with it and trying to walk out at least a couple days every single week is really beneficial. And then the off season, which is the time we're in right now, I am able to hit that 6 days a week pretty routinely without too much interruption, which has been nice. And then I do, as far as like the actual lifts go, I keep it somewhat similar. I'm trying to push pretty close to failure on, you know, all my walking sets. I'm doing, you know, decent enough volume and getting good rest between each set and all that stuff. But I do bump up the weight a little bit in the off season, try to build a little bit extra strength, even though at this point it's kind of tough too.
Mm-hmm. So when you're on tour, are you like, do you have a Planet Fitness membership? Like, where are you working out at during these tournaments? Because I know you're all over the country. So how does that work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Planet Fitness is the spot for the most part. They have the most locations, I feel like, and so that's been really clutch to be able to have most events have a Planet Fitness. I have an LA Fitness membership as well, so sometimes, you know, the city might have one of those, and then it's a little bit different. There's a few spots on tour that don't have either of those places, and then I've found like local gyms before, or like an Anytime or something like that. In Europe, it's completely different. You know, there's like a fitness 24/7 that I've gone to, which is a different chain. You can get like a week pass, so it is doable to make it work even with all the travel. If you want to, obviously it's a little bit of a pain, but at the same time, like I want to stay jacked, so I want to keep it up.
You definitely got to make it a priority for sure, and that's something I talk about a lot on here. Is if your health's got to be a priority, or it's not going to happen. So,
well, I feel the same way about health too. People will often talk about how difficult it is to stay healthy on tour, and it's like, well, yeah, it's obviously easy to just go to McDonald's every meal if you want to, but if you put a little effort in, even if you just go to Walmart, you can still get good groceries. You can still buy, you know, beans or clean meats of whatever you're buying or produce. You can still eat healthy even if you're traveling. So,
are you traveling in an RV or are you in one of the vans?
So right now, the last 3 years, I've just had like an SUV, like a small SUV, and then I do the Airbnbs, usually with some buddies, which I've liked that a lot. The 2 years previous of that, I did have like a Class C RV, which was nice as well, but it's kind of cumbersome driving that thing around, and so I've really enjoyed this living situation more.
Yeah, you got that big paycheck this year, so you can afford them Airbnbs.
Doesn't hurt.
But that helps with like prepping your own food and stuff, knowing that you have a kitchen. I bet it's very hard to like for meals when you're in a van, because so for people that don't know what we're referring to, a lot of the disc golfers when they travel in either an RV or in one of those converted like Sprinter vans. So that's why we're talking about a RV. But
world traveling circus pretty much.
Yeah, it's a hard life out there for a lot of people on the pro tour. So what are your workouts? Are you doing kind of like bodybuilding style training? Are you doing explosive style working out? Are you doing workouts specifically for disc golf? What are your workouts like?
Hypertrophy for sure. Actually, to touch back on the diet thing one last time. I actually lived in a Prius my first season on tour. I just decked out a Prius, but I hooked up like a little inverter thing to where I could have my Instant Pot back there. So even when I was in a Prius, I was still able to just cook my own meals. So even for the people that have their vans or RVs, it's still possible. I don't want to give them an excuse to not eat healthy.
Oh yeah, that's dedication. I remember watching, like, I don't know if it was one of your first videos. It was one of the first I've ever seen of you, where you're cooking beans out the back of your Prius. I remember that was years ago.
Those beans taste better than you can't cook them better. That's the best way to do it.
Isn't it kind of like a joke on tour that you eat beans a lot? Ain't that like a thing I've heard before?
It's a meme. It's kind of a joke, but it's also true. Like that's definitely the bulk of my diet. So
why beans? Like what kind of beans are you eating?
I eat pinto beans for the most part. I feel like as someone who's plant-based, that's like the best way. Well, honestly, for anybody, I feel like it's the best way to get like good protein. You know, beans are packed with like all the nutrients you need. You got protein, you get carbs, you got a bunch of vitamins and minerals in there. So it's really like the best food you can eat, I think. And then it's obviously worked really well for me too. I think some people that go vegan mess up a little bit if they don't get enough protein. If they just eat lettuce all day long, it's going to be tough to get the protein intake, and then they're going to think the diet doesn't work. And it's like, it's not really the fact that you're eating plant-based, it's just that the fact that you're not eating the right foods. So I think beans are the best.
So how are you cooking the beans, and what are you eating them with? How do you eat them?
Yeah, so I just stick in my Instant Pot, no seasoning. I don't know if I'm lazy or if I just don't care, but I just don't put any. I just put beans in there, put some water on there, turn it on, Pretty simple. And then I add hot sauce and salsa and avocado. And then the last couple weeks I've been eating tortilla shells with it as well. So
you're just basically eating straight beans. That's crazy.
pretty much, yeah. To be fair, the hot sauce and salsa and avocado helps a lot.
Yeah.
And it tastes. I think like it's crazy. It tastes good every single time to me. It doesn't really get old for the most part.
Yeah. So I'm a creature of habit too. I can eat the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I meal prep like the same meals every week, and my wife thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So you're
consistency.
you're vegetarian or you're vegan?
Vegan, yeah.
Vegan?
Well,
Okay.
I say plant-based. Like true vegan is like no honey, you don't wear leather, all that stuff. But I don't care about that.
Plant-based.
Yeah, plant-based. And every now and again, I might try something that's not vegan if my friends say it's insanely good. But for the most part, it's just strictly plant-based, mostly whole food.
Are you plant-based for like the health purposes of it, or are you plant-based for like the animal side of it?
Health reasons for sure.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a good. I guess it's a bonus for the animals too. I'm not like for animal cruelty, but the main focus for me is the health. I believe that it's the best diet for longevity, especially. And so when I'm 70 years old, I still want to be active. I want to be throwing frisbees if I want to. I want to be able to go running, and I want to try to avoid cancer and heart disease and all that stuff. And based on what I've looked into with my research and the blue zones and all that stuff, I feel like the plant-based diet is the best one.
Okay. Do you do fish at all?
No.
No fish.
Almost never. Yeah.
I was curious. Vegans are always very interesting to me because like I don't think I could do it. Like I don't know how. I don't think it's a meal unless I have some kind of meat. So I don't know.
Right. It would be very difficult to transition to it. I know people struggle with that a lot. They really miss like the satiatiness, whatever.
Satiating, yeah.
Yeah, satiatingness of meat. Which would be tough. Well, they miss some of that flavor, like the chewiness of it. So I could see what would be difficult. I was lucky enough to just get born into it. So I've been plant-based my whole life, so it hasn't been difficult for me at all. I almost never like meat or cheese or anything like that when I try it because I'm just not used to it.
That's interesting. So your parents were plant-based always?
Yeah. I think when I turned 1 is when they went like full vegan. So I guess I had 1 year of being breastfed. Well, technically it's not vegan, but I don't really count that.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You've never really had. I guess it's easy then if you've never really had that experience. But yeah, I've always I think so. I have an aunt and uncle that they're vegan as well. So I think it's interesting that they can do it. But there's I've seen a lot of creative ways that people like make different foods that are vegan, but they still taste pretty good, and you couldn't even tell most of them are vegan most of the time.
Right. Well, I mean the thing is like I feel like a lot of the flavor that people get when they eat like non-vegan food, it's still seasoned with vegan things. It's like all the seasoning, all the spices, all that stuff, all that stuff's vegan. So if that's what the flavor is. It's like I don't know. I feel like it is possible to replicate that with vegan stuff, just because it's we get the spices and stuff anyway.
Yeah. So for somebody that has as much muscle in their frame as you do, I just find it very hard that you can get enough protein in your diet on the beans. So like, what other kind of protein sources are you eating throughout your day?
That's the main one. For a lot of my adult life, I would eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as well, which you get a lot of protein from the peanut butter on the bread. So that would help as well. But I get plenty of protein just from the beans that I eat. I mean, like most of this season, I would just eat 2 big pots of beans. That's kind of what I eat now too. I eat like a pot of beans for lunch and a pot of beans for supper, and I get plenty of protein. I mean, I think a lot of people misunderstand how much protein you actually need anyway. They always say like the one gram per pound of body weight or whatever it is, and I think that's a lot higher than necessary. So yeah, I mean, if you eat a crap load of beans, it's not too difficult to get protein.
I like the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, but yeah, it's definitely more than what you actually need. It simplifies it for people. It makes it easier to understand. So like if say I weigh 180 pounds, I need 180 grams of protein, but actually that's probably a little bit more than you need. So
especially like, I mean, if you're not working out, it's interesting to me that protein has such of a like it's like put on a pedestal so much in America, especially when it's like most people don't have any care about building a ton of muscle. They could probably get by with 50 grams of protein and be totally fine. If you're trying to put muscle on, obviously you need a little bit more than that, but I think that's something that people mess up.
Do you have a target number that you're trying to hit?
I don't. I mean, I get well over 100. Probably, I think when I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a lot too, I would get like 180 or 200 depending on how many sandwiches I would have. So I get around 100 just from the beans. So I don't really like count macros or anything like that, but I also eat the same food pretty much every single day. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess. I could like figure it out and know what I'm getting, but
Yeah, when you eat the same things, it makes it so much easier to know how much you're actually eating. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
totally.
mean, you said you're eating 180 to 200 grams. That's a lot. That's a lot of protein in a day. A lot
Yeah,
more
definitely.
than
I think I get more than I need, honestly.
yeah.
But I don't know, it's
And
not really too
so
harmful, I think.
how tall are you and how much do you weigh? Just curious.
I'm just over 6'1", and then I weigh like 193, probably 195, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then yeah, I haven't gotten a DEXA scan in a while, so I don't know exactly what my body fat percentage is, but it should be between like 9 and 12 or something, I think.
hmm Yeah, if y'all hadn't if y'all don't know who Ezra is, definitely go check him out on Instagram and see this dude. He ain't no joke. I find it very hard. I find it hard to believe that you maintain as much muscle as you do throughout the season because you're very active. So like in disc golf,
Yeah.
you're walking all day. I mean, and you probably play when you're practicing. You're probably doing multiple rounds a day, or throwing in the
Hmm.
field. So you're doing a lot of exercise on top of your workouts every day. So you're
Yeah.
burning a ton of calories. So
Yeah.
in order for you to maintain that muscle, you got to be eating a good amount to maintain that
Oh yeah.
throughout the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, totally. That's actually, I've always struggled with getting my legs to grow. And I was talking with my brother a couple months ago, and he's like, dude, maybe because you walk so much, you do so much
Mhm.
cardio just on that front, maybe that hold you back a little bit. And I'm hopeful there's some truth to it because, like, this off season now, I'm not as active. And so hopefully I can see some growth in my legs finally.
Mhm.
But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you're definitely doing a ton of cardio. Like I wouldn't do any more cardio if you want to put on some
Right.
size and don't
Yeah.
no more.
No, I would
Yeah,
not recommend it.
um, honestly, if you want to put some muscle on the wheat on the off season, I would recommend add another meal. Add another meal
Yeah.
into your day. Try to eat at breakfast. Like add some beans in the morning or whatever
Right.
you like to eat for
I could
breakfast.
try that. I don't. I usually skip breakfast, but that could help. Try to eat more and yeah, see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, or if you like to fast in the morning, maybe add a snack or something in between
Yeah,
meals,
yeah,
because you're just not getting enough calories with as much
mm,
cardio and stuff that you do on top of working out. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to put on. I have the same problem. I have a
yeah,
very high metabolism, so it's always hard for me to put on muscle. So I have to eat like 4,000 calories plus for me to put on
right,
any weight.
yeah.
Um,
I feel like for me, like those days when I'll eat extra. I feel like I end up just pooping more. So I feel like my body just kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't.
yeah,
I feel like my body just like it'll take in its 3,500 calories or whatever it is, and then anything past that, it's just like, well, we don't need you, and just get rid of it. So I feel like
yeah,
it's
yeah. That may
I
be
don't
the
know.
case. So think of like workouts for disc golf specifically.
Yeah.
Are you doing any kind of like like explosive movements for disc golf specifically, or what does that look like? Do you do anything related to that?
Most of what I do is pretty general lifting.
Mhm.
It's not super pointed at disc golf. I think the best gains that I make in like a lifting sense for disc golf is just injury prevention. I feel like if I can be strong and surround all my joints and ligaments and all that stuff with muscle, I feel like my chance of injury goes down. And I've been blessed to avoid that for the most part um, for my career. So I think it does help a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I know some people do like some more unique like band exercises or like
Mhm.
explosive stuff, and that hasn't really ever been a part of my regime.
Yeah, and I would go to say that the reason you haven't had any big injuries in your career is because you work out so much because
Right.
you're working out your ligaments, you're strengthening your muscles, you're building that bone density and things like that, and that goes a long ways
Yeah.
for preventing injuries. So I bet that's why. Because like nowadays, it's known that disc golfers get injured a lot, especially in their
Yeah.
arm, like elbow area. It's very
Totally.
it's a very serious thing nowadays because you're
Right.
playing tournaments almost every weekend, so that's
Yeah.
a lot of strain on the body for sure.
Totally. Yeah. Overuse injuries not too uncommon at all. And honestly, like I think part of that is maybe just because having muscle doesn't really help all that much in disc golf, and so then you get a lot of people that are just kind of skinny and just they can use their levels and use their flexibility to sling a disc really far, but it takes a toll. And then if they don't have the muscle since they don't need it, then it can get kind of backfire.
Yeah, there's definitely a point of diminishing returns when it comes to muscle on your frame for disc golf. You
Yeah.
almost want less muscle. You want to be more lanky when it comes to disc
Right.
golf. So
Yeah.
the muscle kind
Long
of
flexibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
it hurts you in your disc golf game, but then it helps prevent injury though at the same time. So it's a win lose situation there.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair too, though, you know, I feel like I put a decent amount of muscle on, but I don't think I'm like close to having too much to where I would like
hmm
hinder my movements or anything. I feel like I can still move just fine. I think in order to get to a point where I would actually like get in the way of my swing and hold me back, I'd probably have to jump on something, and that
Yeah.
doesn't really interest me. So I think I should be fine.
Yeah, as long as you're touring every week, I don't think you'll ever be able to put on that much size to where it's a problem.
Yeah.
So what are some big attributes or major attributes that disc golfers need specifically, like strength, mobility, endurance? Like how do those things play into being a professional disc golfer?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot less physical than a lot of sports. We don't have to be in as good a shape as a football player or a basketball player. Those a little bit of cardio, but at the end of the day, we're just kind of walking and throwing a disc, so it's not crazy. I think it helps. Endurance is a good one for sure because it's a marathon. Some of these events are 4 rounds, and so playing back to back days, the mental fortitude that you have to have too. It's exhausting trying to focus on every single shot, and so that takes a toll physically as well. So if you can be in good physical shape, it's going to help a lot. So I think it does. I think it does help. I think endurance is probably the biggest one of that, though. I don't think being super jacked necessarily helps that much, but having a lot of endurance is gonna help a lot.
Are you doing anything for endurance, or you just play a lot and that's how you get your endurance in?
Yeah, I play a lot for sure. I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was just gonna say. I mean, I know people. A lot of people like cross training and stuff, and it's like, I could take up running or swimming or something and try to build my endurance that way. But at the end of the day, I feel like the best way to improve at something is just to do that thing. And so, if I want to build endurance in disc golf, I can just play more disc golf.
Yeah, for you specifically, since you do this for a living, I wouldn't recommend adding in something else. You probably already do like as much as you need to do. Anything over that's just going to hinder you more. I don't think it would be beneficial for you. Like especially adding in running, because running is very hard on the body.
Yep.
And
there was one off season when I bought a pair of shoes and I was like, I'm going to start running, try to get my endurance built up. But then like a few weeks into running, I was like, my foot kind of hurts. I was like, what is this? I don't know. So I gave up on it. I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Well,
it's a high impact sport. I don't know.
You mentioned cross training. Well, you are cross training. You're doing strength training and you're doing disc golf. Yeah. It's a sport. I mean, you're training.
That's true.
When you go out there and practice every day, you're doing like a workout. Especially a lot of these courses are very hilly, so you're walking up and down hills, throwing the discs. So you pretty much are cross training. I think if you added like too much, it wouldn't do you any good.
No, you're right.
So we talked a little bit about overtraining and recovery. What does your recovery protocols look like during the season? Are you doing anything for recovery?
No, as far as like ice baths go or stuff like that. I mean, I try to sleep. I try to get a good amount of sleep in. So I try to make sure I'm not going to bed too late, and then not getting up too late or too early as well. So I try to get a good amount of sleep. That's probably the best thing I do for recovery. Yeah, I mean, I've done cold baths a few times. I don't enjoy it, and I've never really seen much benefit. Yeah, so I don't know. Not super focused on it.
So what do you have like a warm up routine or cool down routine that you do before and after your rounds?
Yeah, warm up for sure. I'll do like a few some dynamic stretching, try to get my muscles and bones, ligaments, and all that stuff warmed up a little bit, so it's not just you jump right into the throw. And then we usually start off with some slow ball throws to kind of ease into it as well. And then I kind of start ripping, and I go to a field to warm up a little bit before round, typically a tournament round. Throw some putts, just kind of get the body moving, and then get into the round.
Awesome. Do you do any kind of like mental training? Anything to help you? Because tournaments are very nerve wracking. You come down to the wire. Do you do any kind of do you do any kind of training for that? Do you any work for your mental side of the game?
Most of the training that I do, I think is just when I'm doing the sport. The more times I can put myself in those positions where I have those feelings and that excitement, anticipation of what's going to happen, the better I think I'm going to get at it. So I feel like the best thing I can do for my mental game is just to keep putting myself in positions to have a chance. Those have been times when you'll read some kind of book on the mental game or a golf book on how to improve and stuff like that. So there's been a little bit of that throughout my career. But I don't do a whole lot of meditation or like visualization or anything like that. I think I gain most of my confidence just from the practice that I put in the tournaments and the skill set that I have.
Yeah, that experience goes a long ways. So the more you can put yourself in that situation and learn from it and grow from it, I think that's the best way. And you did that a lot on tour this year, and you finally got over the hump. So I'm expecting to see some more wins next year. I'm expecting.
Dude, I'm excited. I want to keep the momentum going. I feel like the false win is the most difficult. And then after that, like those a decent amount of people that have multiple wins. And so hopefully next season I can try to pick up a few more. Be a lot of fun.
So what does a practice week look for you, like on tour? I mean, not on tour, but like during season. What does your
Yeah.
practice schedule look like? Because I know you traveling a lot, you playing a lot. When do you fit in
Yeah.
practice there?
Yeah. So usually Monday's a travel day. And depending on how far we have to travel, it might take up the whole day. It might take up half the day. And then if it only takes up half the day, then hopefully we get to the next tournament Monday afternoon. Usually film a YouTube video, practice the quals, and then walk out, go to sleep, wake up the next day. And that's maybe when I'd play a couple rounds a day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, depending. Throw some field walk in there throughout the week and practice putting. And then it's tournament weekend pretty quick. And then the whole cycle starts all over again.
Okay, and then same question, but for off season, like what does your practice week look like now that you don't have tournaments on the weekend?
Yeah. I mean, dude, right now I'm a bum. It's like I mean, I'm at a disc golf course right now. Was getting around in, but I've been just chilling out for right now. I'm trying to kind of just get a nice full reset in and build the file back up to where I can practice and play with the most intention possible. So right now it's just kind of a I'm taking the off season off for sure. But in a few weeks, y'all, maybe a couple weeks, maybe even less, honestly, if I get bored enough. But when my actual off season training starts, like last off season, it was like wake up, practice putt, go to the field, come back, eat lunch, practice putt a little bit, go to a quals, go back to a field, come back, eat, go to the gym, come back, and it's nighttime, and go to sleep, and then wake up and do it all over again. So, like last season's off season was pretty intensive. And I guess this will probably be similar once I actually get back into the swing of things as well.
So do you travel back home in the off season, or are you still traveling around? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona right now. I grew up in South Dakota, but it's way too cold up there to train, so I can't really go back there. My family lives in Virginia, but it also gets kind of cold, and so Arizona's been a spot I keep going back to. It's just beautiful weather almost every day. The wind is usually pretty low. Those fields I can find some courses that aren't that great, but it makes it the easiest for me to get out and practice. I don't want to have any excuse to not practice. You know, if it's 4 degrees outside, it's gonna be a lot easier to stay inside. So as long as it's 60 degrees and sunny and no wind, it's a lot easier to go out and want to train.
Yeah, Arizona's nice. I've been out there. I traveled out there to like the Phoenix area. It's really nice out there.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. And we went to Sedona and did some hiking. So that was super cool. Yeah.
Nice. Where are you based out of?
I'm in Alabama, Mobile.
Okay. That stays decently nice then for most of the winter, I would assume.
Oh yeah. It don't get that cold here. We don't get snow or nothing like that, so we can play all winter long. It will get down in the 30s some, but not much. It's not too bad here. It's normally super hot here. That's the problem. It's humid. It's super humid and hot. So
don't love that.
No, it's rough. I'm from the same area that Matty L is from. So.
Oh heck yeah. Okay. Now, you're gonna go to the Big Easy Open next year, and what is that in Baton Rouge? I think.
Actually, I want to. I really do. I want to. It's about 2 hours away, so it's pretty close.
Heck yeah, cool.
Yeah, we actually we have an A tier in Mobile every year around March area, around the March time. So if you're ever in the area, you need to come play it. There's several of the Pro Tour players will come and play it.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't played down there yet. I don't think so. I'm looking forward to that Pro Tour one at least for sure.
Yeah, I haven't played over in Louisiana at all. But if you ever come to Mobile, you got to play. There's one course called the Admiral. It's in Sims, Alabama. It's in the Mobile area. But it's super nice. It's a John Houck course. I think that's his name.
Oh, yeah.
He designs a bunch of courses. Yeah, so it's the nicest one in this area for sure.
Sick. Heck yeah.
So have you seen, when it comes to disc golf players, have you seen any like weaknesses that some of the players may have from like a physical standpoint? I know you talked a little bit about that you don't really necessarily need a lot of muscle, but is there anything have you seen that may be a weakness to somebody?
I would just say I would go back to the injury thing. I mean, people get injured, and I think that's probably the biggest weakness that people have. I mean, some people have just ended their entire career because of an injury, which sucks. But it's like that's how fickle the career we have is. It is interesting though. I feel like in the last handful of years, it is interesting to see more people take fitness seriously. And when the off season starts, you usually see a good amount of people start to post some fitness stuff, and like they're in the gym trying to work out and get stronger. So I think there is a growing emphasis on that in the sport, and it's probably from the viewpoint of injury prevention as well. But either way, I think more people are trying to take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. Do you work with a personal trainer at all?
I don't. No, I've got myself. I've done a ton of research on like YouTube and all that stuff. So feel like I have a somewhat decent understanding of how
Mhm.
to train. But I don't. Disc golf's not quite at the point yet where we have like coaches and personal trainers and like a whole team on that
Mhm.
side of things. There's a few players, I guess, that would have probably the capital to make that happen, but for most people on tour, it's just not quite at that point yet.
Yeah, I know there's one guy that does a lot of stuff with the Pro Tour, the disc golf strong guy. I know he does some
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
he helped a lot of people out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I thought does he still travel around with the Pro Tour? I thought that was pretty
A
neat.
little bit, yeah. Yeah, I saw
Mhm.
him out there at some of the stops. I don't think he goes to every single one, but they always do have like a station with some different exercise tools that you can use to warm up and get everything moving, which I think is really good for people because without that, I think you'd have more injuries.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that the Pro Tour can provide for all the players.
Yeah, totally.
So, are there any supplements you take?
Yeah, creatine's been the main one. I've been taking creatine for a while, and I feel like that's kind of just a general one everyone should kind of take anyway. I take B12 pretty consistently now for a little over a year, but that's not really a fitness one. And then I started taking ashwagandha like this summer as well.
Mhm.
That's it. Don't really take anything else.
Yep. No pre workout when you work out.
No pre workout. No, I'm a
Dang.
little anti caffeine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to rely on something to like hype me up or I get dependent on something. So yeah, I don't know. I've never taken like legit pre workout.
Well, don't do it. If you don't need it,
Good.
don't take it. Don't even start taking it because I
Oh,
went a
good.
long time. I went probably like 8 years without taking it,
Okay.
and I never needed it. And then I started
Yeah.
taking it, and now it's like I gotta have it to work out.
Right.
So
I'm
it's
sure it'd be nice. I'm sure I would probably like it like everyone else does. But yeah, I'm just
yeah,
kind of I don't
yeah.
know. Stay away.
If you don't need it, I wouldn't take it. Don't even start. It's not worth
Okay.
it.
Sounds good.
Because you're gonna be dependent on it, and you ain't gonna want to
Yeah,
work out.
that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Um. So say you're traveling and you don't have a gym to go to. What do you do? Any like body weight workouts or exercises? What's something like quick and easy that people can do?
Oh, there's a ton of stuff people can do that's quick and easy for sure. I mean, you can do push-ups and core walkouts, and you can find some kind of you can go to monkey balls and do pull-ups and rows, and you can do a lot of stuff without a gym for sure. For me, I honestly I just take those weeks off. It doesn't happen very often. I think
Yeah.
maybe once or twice all season long. I don't have a gym, and for those weeks, I'm just like, well, maybe my body needs a rest anyway, and it's probably good for it. So I just
Mhm.
take it off. It's
So
also
say you're
it's kind of difficult for me to go from a gym to no gym and just do body weight exercises since it just feels so much less efficient.
yeah.
Um, it's just like I don't want to just sit there and do 200 push-ups, try to get I don't know.
It's not as motivating when you don't have a
Not as
gym.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So say you're playing like a long round, like a tournament round. Some of them go 3-4 hours. Well,
Yeah.
do you have any? How do you like keep your energy levels stable while you're out there? Do you take any snacks on the course with you or anything like that?
Yeah, so actually this is the first season I've been consistently snacking. Before this season, I would almost never take a snack with me. I would just drink water throughout the round, and that would be it. But this season, I've noticed a lot of other players will snack during a round, and like PGA players will snack. They'll have a banana in their bag or whatever it is. And so I was kind of thinking maybe I'm missing out. Maybe there was some energy drop that I'm feeling and maybe or experiencing without necessarily feeling it. So I did start snacking. Throughout the round this season. I think it was probably a benefit. I would just stick like a that's it ball in my bag, which is usually just like an apple and a cherry or something.
Mhm.
Keep it pretty basic and usually just fruit. But I feel like that was a good thing for me.
Yeah, you mentioned drinking water on the course. What does your hydration protocol look like? Do you have a certain number that you're trying to hit, or you just drink all day? Like, what's your water intake look like?
Yeah, just water. I don't I guess I just listen to my body and drink when I'm thirsty or drink when I feel like I
Mhm.
should. Um I could probably drink more, but I don't track it.
Do you supplement with any like electrolytes? You put anything in your water?
Typically, no. There's a few times when it gets super hot out that I might go buy like some liquid IV or whatever it is that has some of that
Mhm.
stuff in it. That's only when it's like 95, 100 degrees outside, and I have to be outside to practice, and I feel like I'm just sweating my entire body away, and then I'll do it. So that happened maybe a handful of times this season, but for the most part, it's just strict water.
Mhm. So you have any advice for somebody who's trying to get into fitness, who they may feel overwhelmed or don't necessarily know where to start? Do you have any advice for those kind of people?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think if you're really interested in it, I think you'll find good information. You're gonna go look for good information regardless. So you'll be on YouTube trying to find out what exercises to do and stuff. And there's an infinite number of videos and knowledge out there, so you can definitely figure it out. Um, I would say trying to make sure you have good technique when you do exercises is really important. Try not to ego lift too much. Just try to get comfortable with everything before you like raise the weight, because we don't want to get injured doing the thing that we're trying to like help avoid injury. Um, and then as far as diet goes, for me personally, I think just if you go whole food, plant based, and eat a bunch of beans, I think you're pretty much golden. Stay away from candy, stay away from pop, stay away from processed stuff, and you're pretty much gonna be 85-90% of the way there.
Yeah, the diet is the main thing. Like the diet is so hard for people. I mean, it's even hard for me, and I'm a fitness person. And
Right.
what a lot of people don't realize is you don't even really have to work out for real to really like if you want to lose weight. You don't have
Yeah.
to work out for real. You just need to change your diet.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing for weight loss. I think one thing I would say to encourage people with diet is it's going to suck a lot right away, and it'll get easier as you do it because your taste buds will adjust. So you might be super used to eating the trash garbage food that you're used to, but if you stick with a good healthy diet long enough, you'll start to actually like that food, and then you might go back and try that processed junk that you were eating before, and it's not going to taste quite the same. And so you might actually prefer the new healthy clean food after a while. Because I find for myself, if I eat something junk food, it's like it just, I don't know, it has like a weird taste to me sometimes. It has like a fake taste that I don't like as much.
Yeah, your palate definitely does change. So like
Yeah.
your level of like sweetness will change over time for
Right.
sure.
So I
I
think
bet
what is your taste buds die and replenish like every 2 or 3 weeks or something. So it's like you have different taste buds. If you stick with a diet for like a month, it's going to be a massive difference.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will complain like they say healthy food's it's not good, like it don't taste good. And
Right.
it's that reason like
Yeah.
it's kind of an acquired taste. Like you'll as you eat
Mhm.
it more, you'll like it more. That's
Yep.
why people make fun of me for eating like chicken and rice. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good. Like I actually this
Yeah.
is good. I like chicken and rice. It's good.
Yeah.
Like and you
Yep.
can cook it different ways and mix it up, throw different
Yeah.
vegetables and things in there, and
Yep.
it tastes good. But it's
Totally.
just a palate thing. Like you get used to it. It's acquired taste over time.
Totally.
I bet it's really hard for you though, being plant based, because you really don't have no junk in your diet at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of vegan food that's junk food. I mean, I think
Yeah,
Oreos are vegan. That's like the stereotypical one.
yeah,
So like
yeah.
you can definitely find a way to eat pretty unhealthy and still be vegan. But I think if you go whole food plant based, I think you're pretty much good.
Yeah, it's very hard to overeat whole foods because like whole foods are gonna feel they're gonna fill you up
Yeah,
and you're gonna get full, and they're
yeah,
not as many calories because they're whole foods. They don't have a lot of calories in them, so
yeah,
it's very hard to overdo it.
yeah.
So what's one simple habit that somebody can like a beginner could do they could start doing today that'll help them improve their fitness?
Ooh, simple habits. I would probably go to the diet again. I think that is more important.
Mhm.
And I would say to try to focus more on just eating more healthy food instead of trying to cut out bad food, right? So if you
Mhm.
add 1,000 calories of beans or fruit or whole food plant based into your diet, you just add 1,000 calories of that, which is going to be healthy. You're going to get to a point where you can't like eat the same amount of bad food as before.
Mhm.
So you kind of just shift it out, because it's if you try to go cold talk, it's going to be tough. But if you just add in more healthy food, then it's going to kind of just replace the unhealthy food. And you can kind of just continue to add it and add it and add it as time goes on. And then at some point, you'll realize you just cut out all the bad food.
Yeah, I agree. It's people when they start this, they say, all right, I'm gonna cut all bad food. I'm gonna go to the gym
Yeah,
5 times a week, and they're gonna do
yeah,
all these things. I'm like, no,
yeah,
like that's way too much. You're not ever. That's
right,
not sustainable. You're never gonna stick to that. You're gonna give up eventually, and you're gonna go back to what you're doing before. So
yeah,
I definitely change one thing at a time.
yeah,
Get to where you can do that one thing consistently, and then add in something else,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
repeat the process.
Yep, I like
I
that.
want to ask you the same thing, but for improving your disc golf game. So what's one simple thing somebody that could do to improve their disc golf game?
The main thing I think is really beneficial is to film yourself throwing a shot, so you can actually see what your technique looks like. Because there's often quite a big disconnect between what we actually do and what we feel like we do. I can remember back when I was like trying to build my technique, I felt like I looked like a pro. Like a decade ago, I felt like I had good technique, and I look at the film like, oh my gosh, I'm doing everything, so many things wrong, and so it can be a lot easier to pick out things that are issues and that you can work on, and then if you can compare that to someone who has good form, and then try to sync those things up and go back and throw again and try to make the adjustment and then film it and keep deciphering that way. I think that's probably one of the best beneficial things you can do.
Yeah, I like that, and I would say the same thing for your technique when you're working out in the gym.
Yeah,
Same
totally.
thing. Yeah,
Yep.
film. I actually do this a lot. I'll film myself a lot to check out my technique, because when you start
Nice.
adding a lot of weight to the bar, you can really injure yourself. So it's
Totally.
very important to learn the proper technique, and I would suggest do it first.
Yeah.
Like, learn the technique first before you ever really start adding weight, because you
Yep.
don't want to get down the road and hurt yourself, and then you're not working out at all. So it kind of defeats
Yep.
the whole purpose.
For sure. Yeah. You can even, if you have a gym buddy too, I feel like that can help a lot. Just so they can kind of spot you and you guys can see what you're doing. Another good tip too is like, if you're trying to do cardio and lose weight, I think trying to pick cardio that you enjoy is really beneficial. If you like playing tennis, go play tennis. If you like playing basketball, go play basketball. It doesn't have to just be something that you hate, because if you enjoy what you're doing, it's going to be way easier to continue to do it and make it a habit and make it fun.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because I actually do that, but with disc golf. So like,
Oh yeah.
I'm real
yeah.
big on getting my steps in every day. I'm an overachiever, so I like to do the 10,000 steps thing. That's like my
Yeah.
goal. So like,
Yep.
I'll go play around the disc golf and get a couple thousand steps in, and it's
Yep.
fun. Like, I'm not thinking about getting steps in. I just do it naturally because
I
I
love
get
that.
around in. Yeah, so I do that same thing.
Nice.
If you could go back to when you first started, what's one fitness mistake that you kind of made as a beginner that you would change or fix?
Ooh. Wow. What mistake did I make? It's tough because I usually, like, when I get into something new, I geek out about it so much and I just kind of go all in. And so like I did so much research and stuff before I even got like super into it, to where I feel like I had a decent understanding of what to do even from the beginning. Man, I figured out a way to get my legs to grow faster. I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't feel like I've ever been one to like skip leg day. They just have been so stubborn.
Yeah, that's a genetic thing for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Go back and change my genetics.
Well, I would say you got pretty good genetics. I think most people would love to have your genetics. All right, same thing with disc golf. What would you change? What kind of mistake was you making early on for disc golf that you would change earlier?
Let's see. I think. Oh man, I think I could have probably started playing tournaments sooner than I did. I took a couple years to like build my technique up, and then after that, I stopped working on technique and just played in tournaments, and my techniques continued to improve anyway. So I feel like I probably could have started that process sooner and learned some of the weaknesses in my game sooner, and that potentially would have helped speed things along a little bit. Yeah, so let's go with that. Let's go.
I'm trying to think. What kind of like mobility or stretching do you do? Do you do any mobility routines? I know you say you did a little bit of stretching before each round.
Yeah, before each round, I'll do a little bit of dynamic stuff, and then at the end of my walkouts, usually, well, in season at least, I'll do like some static stretching after I lift, to try to get the movement going.
You don't do any arm like band work or anything? Put any ice on the arm?
I don't know. No. I keep it. I don't know. I keep it super simple, I guess, and I know a lot of people do a lot of that stuff, but I've kind of just avoided it. Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes back to you, one, genetics, but two, you're working out all the time. So like you're constantly working the muscles, the tendons, your bones. So you're constantly working on that. So like I'm kind of the same way. Like I don't have to do a lot of recovery stuff to recover. I kind of just recover, by myself.
Right.
I do experiment a little bit with like the ice baths. I do like to do an ice bath, and things like that. But like I never got into all the foaming and the foam rolling, the stretching.
Right. I've messed around with that a little bit, but
even have the little compression boots, and I don't ever use them.
Yeah. Okay. I do have a buddy that he loves those. He
Yeah,
loves
I
those,
know.
like puts the whole boots on and everything and loves them.
Mhm. A lot of people
I don't.
swear by it, but
Is
it's
there is
to
there
me.
like one thing? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say to me, it's just too much of an inconvenience for me to use it. Like I
Yeah.
gotta go out of my way to use it,
Right.
so I don't like using it.
Yeah. Is there like one thing that you've found that you think I'm maybe not taking advantage of that I could enjoy that you've like found is really good?
As far as recovery goes,
Yeah. I mean, any of it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think for specifically for disc golf. Trying to think.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's gonna make like a major change. I mean, if you had like a certain area in something that you really wanted to focus on, maybe so. But like if you're recovering well, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you to like do an ice bath because you obviously don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Just make honestly like sleeping is the most important thing in my opinion. And
Yeah.
you already kind of prioritize that, so that's going to be the biggest thing. Especially with you as much stress you're putting on your body, sleep's going to be critical. And another thing I would say is food, like making sure you're eating enough food because like you probably don't realize it, but you're burning a ton of calories every day with your workouts on top of your your rounds every day that you're doing, walking up and down hills and stuff. Just making sure you're fueling your body, giving yourself enough calories, and then also hydration. I definitely think you should drink more water. I mean, I'm gonna tell everybody that, not just you
Yeah.
specifically, but everybody should drink more water. That should be a big thing you focus on, especially when you're playing the hotter tournaments. Like you mentioned, you use some electrolytes. So that's I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
Especially in the southern states, if you're sweating, if it's humid,
Yeah.
you're sweating, you definitely want to replace those electrolytes because you don't want to start cramping up out there on the course. But hydration and sleep, which is the biggest things. All the recovery things, they're very, very little. Like they only going to do a little. Like the main things
Yeah.
are sleep, hydration, and nutrition. That's going to be your main recovery things. The things that will actually like make a big difference. Other than that, all the other recovery techniques are just going to be like little simple things. Like
Mhm.
maybe if you had a nagging injury or something somewhere, I would say really focus on that area, obviously. But I mean, you pretty much got it figured out at this point. You know your body.
Mhm.
It helps a lot that you do the same thing. Like you eating the same foods. You probably have the same practice routine every day. You're going to the gym the same time, so that helps a
Yeah.
lot. Getting your body into a routine. Also, going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time helps a
Right.
lot with your circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of hard on the weekends for you when you're traveling, but like during the week,
Right.
just try to keep things as consistent as possible, and that's
Yeah.
going
Like
to
I,
help your body
like I
stay.
try to keep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I try to keep it as consistent as I can, kind of even with the travel. When I go to Europe, that's when it gets the toughest with the
Mhm.
sleep and keeping everything in line because the time change is pretty drastic.
Yeah, and then you got that the jet lag and all that. That's
Oh
it's
my gosh,
tough.
yeah,
I just actually got back from I went to Italy like 2 months ago
that was
for
sick.
vacation, so I dealt a little bit with that
Yep.
jet lag and stuff. That was my first time over in Europe, so it's pretty cool.
Oh heck yeah,
I
that's
didn't
awesome.
get to play any disc golf though, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, nice,
So I think that I don't really have any other questions for you. I'm trying to think.
cool.
Um, what's all right? So let's ask a pro tour question. What was your favorite thing you did on the pro tour this year? Maybe disc golf related or not disc golf related, outside of disc golf, whatever.
Um, I mean, disc golf related, I would say winning, obviously, but that's I don't know if I can say that. That's like obvious,
Well,
I guess.
let's
Other
do
than,
outside of disc golf
other
then.
than outside disc golf,
Traveling
I
to
would.
cool places.
Yeah, I took a couple. I took a couple trips mid-season. That was kind of just to try to like reset myself a little bit, and again keep the interest level up and reset to where I have the fire to go back and play. And I think it was beneficial for me. I went to Alaska, kind of by myself, just like a little solo like 3-day trip to get my 50th state in. So that was cool.
Mhm.
Kind of nice to see Alaska. And I went to Banff with my brothers as well. That was probably the highlight because Banff was super cool with my brothers. Was fun and
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool just to kind of see everything and chill out for a few days and then get back into it.
Yeah, I actually went to Banff last year. So me and my
Oh,
wife
really?
do a big vacation trip every year. So we did
Sweet.
Banff last year, and that was I loved Banff. Like Canada
It's
was
so cool.
super cool. That was the
Yeah.
first time I ever been to Canada, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I told my wife if all of our family didn't live here, I would move up there in a heartbeat. I loved it because
I liked it.
I'm outdoorsy.
You
I
like,
like to be in the
yeah.
mountains. Like it's so cool. Like hiking. Me and my
Yeah.
wife, every time we go on vacation, we go hiking. Like that's what we do, and it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was so cool. I would hate it, in the wintertime. I think I
Yeah,
wouldn't like that at all. But
yeah.
I liked it in the middle of June. It was great.
Yeah, we went in September and it was perfect. I did play disc golf in Banff. They have a pretty cool course up there. It's one of the ski resorts. So they do ski
Yeah.
and they do like the cross country ski in there.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And they had a disc golf course, so we played while we were there. It was pretty neat.
I played disc golf up there too. Oh, I played it. It was the Nordic Center. Is that where you played?
That may be it. I can't remember.
I don't know, but it was a cool course. Honestly, it had some good shots. We played it a couple times. It was fun.
Let me see. What do you remember? Was it in Banff or was it in Canmore? Is that the city it was in?
Yeah, I think it was Canmore.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I went then. Let's see.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. It was nice to get a little bit of disc golf in, even though it was kind of a rest period for me.
Okay, yeah, it was the Nordic Center. That's what it was. That's where I played that. That's
okay, cool.
Course.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was nice. Right. I think it was beneficial to stay active on those off weeks too. Like keep the body moving, and then kind of just let my brain reset. I think that's like the best benefit for doing those little excursions for me during season.
Are you doing a full tour or taking any time off? Do you know that yet? Have they released the tour next year?
They have, yeah. It's mostly in America. So I went to Europe for like 2 months last year, and I think it'll only be 1 month this season. So a little bit less travel. So the way they've got everything routed seems to be a little bit better than last year. So it should be nice. Should be a full season. I played every single event this last year, which was a lot, and I'll probably do close to the same, if not the same, in 2026.
Yeah, I see a lot of people take off weekends, which is a good thing, but like I want to play every tournament. I would have to play every one. I don't want to take a day off. I like
that's
playing.
Things, like, I wanted to give it everything. I wanted to give myself as many chances as I could to get a win or get good finishes or whatever it was. So like I just wanted to do all of them.
Yeah, I think I would be the same way. But yeah, I will leave it at that. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I enjoyed it. If you would, just go ahead and tell the listeners where they can find you at social medias, if you have a website or anything like that.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. My YouTube is a good place to find me. I do a lot of course previews for the tournaments with my buddy Gooseman. That's just Ezra Aderhold on YouTube. And then Instagram is just my name as well, Ezra_Aderhold. And post about disc golf a lot and about my life a little bit as well. So appreciate it.
And you sponsor Discraft. You gotta shout them out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. My sponsor. If you're trying to look for any discs to try disc golf out for yourself, you can play disc golf with just one disc. You can go buy one disc for like $12 if it's used or something, and play an entire course with it. It's a lot of fun. Every course pretty much is free, so it's pretty low barrier to entry. It's a fun hobby to pick up. But yeah, Discraft's been really good to me. Got a bag sponsor, Squatch, make really good bags, and a retail sponsor, OTB Discs as well. And so they all help out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I love disc golf because, like you said, it's free and it's accessible, and you can play by yourself. Yeah. That's what I enjoy. Because like you don't need a whole team to play. It's not like a team sport. You can go play. You play against yourself or play against the course. So it's something you can get out and do anytime. You don't need a whole group to play it. So that's
right. Yeah, it's cool to you don't have to coordinate with anyone. It's just if you want to go do it, you can. And it's nice to have something where you can see yourself improve. Every single day you can work on something new and try to improve on something and see your scores gradually increase and, hit shots that you weren't able to hit the previous week and try new discs out. And those kind of, it's an unending sport. It's, it's like we try to seek perfection with it, but it's impossible. And so it's kind of a nice thing to always have something to look forward to. And you can never perfect the game. So it's a lifelong journey, honestly.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way. That you're always kind of improving. You're working on different things, but that's probably what keeps me coming back because I suck so bad. I got to get better. But yeah,
hey man, we all want to get better too. I want to get better.
Yeah, my problem is I'll play disc golf for like a couple months straight, and then I'll quit for like 6 months and not play.
Yeah,
normally because I've done a few big fitness prep every year. I try to do one big challenge, like fitness challenge every year. Cool. So every time I'm in like a prep, I can't really play disc golf because I don't have time. So back in April, I ran 100-mile ultra marathon.
Holy crap!
And then last year I did a bodybuilding show, and then the year before that I did a Ironman. So they take a long time to train for, and unfortunately I don't have much extra time to play disc golf. But right now I'm playing a lot. I'm in my off season right now because I'm not really training for nothing. So my goal next year is to do a High Rocks. Hey, are you familiar with the High Rocks?
I don't think so.
So it's a new like event. It's kind of like CrossFit a little bit. It came from Europe and it worked its way over here. But it's they kind of travel around. They kind of do like a tour to different places. So I'm gonna try to get tickets for one next year. That's my big goal for next year that I want to do.
That's
So
sick, man.
yeah.
You got those are some cool experiences. I've gotta catch up. I don't know if that'd
Uh,
be interesting to do a 100-mile marathon though, but
I would trade with
pretty
you in a
cool.
heartbeat. If I could be on the pro tour, I would do that instead.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining the podcast. I'm sure the people enjoyed learning a little bit about disc golf and about your fitness journey. I think it's cool to learn from
Yeah.
technically a professional athlete and kind of what you do on it, because your schedule looks so much different than like a normal person. So it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool to learn from different people and how you're still making time for it. Like you literally play a professional sport and you still make time to work out, and that's the big thing. It's a priority to you. So that's what other people got to understand. Like it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. You
Mm-hmm.
got to make time for it. You got to make it a
Totally.
priority, and it can be
Yeah.
done. So,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
thanks for
Thanks
joining
for
the
having me on,
podcast.
man. I enjoyed it, man. It was fun.
Oh yeah, I look forward to seeing you get another win next year. I'll be looking
Heck
for
yeah,
you.
bro. Heck yeah.
All right, you have a good one.
Take it easy, man. You as well.